Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another Spider-Man effects video. This is your boy here, Mikey Wilson, aka the Spiderdad. So let me show you how you can climb walls like Spider-Man. Okay guys, so if we're doing a Spider-Man crawl down the wall and we want to make it look as realistic as possible, there's a couple of things that we need to actually do here. The best method at the moment, certainly if you're going to be doing it on a static lock-off shot, it's probably the easiest option right now, shooting it in 4K, and then you can move it around to make it look like it's a bit more dynamic. When you're shooting your green screen, you need to be shooting it at the same light as what you're shooting the original footage. An important thing to remember here when you're actually shooting, for example, if you're shooting up a building like here, okay, one thing that you want to remember when you're shooting two separate shots is that the distance between the camera and the ground needs to be the same when you're shooting it on the green screen as well. For example, so I'm going to put this camera here like this. Basically, it's going to be shooting up towards the side of the wall, but you want to hold that there for the duration that you're going to be shooting this for. Now notice the actual distance between the camera and the wall. That is the distance that needs to be the same to get the same perspective, the same angle when you're shooting on the green screen. So let's go and take a look at the green screen shot now, and I'll explain a bit more detail. Okay, so we're at the green screen stage now. So I've got my camera set up, I've got the green screen set up. I haven't changed the positioning of the tripod. The distance is exactly the same. The panning and the tilt of the camera tripod is exactly the same. So when you're shooting the original clip, it's always good to tighten that as much as possible, just to prevent any knocks, to make it any different from the original footage. Also, the lighting is exactly the same as well, so it's actually going to benefit the shot as much as possible, in the sense that it's going to match, it's going to blend so much more seamlessly. Okay, so let's shoot some footage and put it in the edit. Okay guys, so we're in the edit suite. I've already imported all of my clips that I need for this. The green screen and the original footage. I've already gone ahead and completed all the time-consuming editing sections, for example, all the masking, the frame-by-frame keyframing, but I will go ahead and show you how I've done that briefly. So let's go ahead and check out what this actually looks like. Okay, so what we need to do now is create a new comp. So I'm going to select the original layer, the empty background layer, select that and then drag it over a new comp. Okay, and I'm just going to rename this tutorial clip. Okay, so now we just need to bring in the green screen. So I'm going to double click that so it brings it up into the main screen. And I'm actually going to choose the point where I actually only need it to be. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that over there. So I'm already in position there. Okay, so I'm already crawling, so I'm going to set an in point there. Go down here. Yeah, we'll just leave it there for now. Set an out point there. So that's already been selected. Now I can go back over here, click, drag and hold it and put it above the background layer. So now all we need to do essentially is to key out the green screen. Now what we need to do that is we just need to simply go over to our effects panel, go to keying, go to key light, click and drag that on top of the green screen layer. Then we need to get the color selector tool, select that, click on the green, and it will take away the background. Okay, now as you can see here we have a lot of excess background we have there. All you need to do is go up to the pen tool and we're going to mask around. Please do spend more time, I'm just doing this for tutorial purposes. So I've already gone ahead and done that previously, so I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so once you've taken out the green screen, we need to now do some keyframing to ensure that none of the outside edges from the green screen come into play. So we just basically go through frame by frame, just making sure most of it's actually okay and already in, but sometimes the elbows go out, so we're just having to go around the edges and just fine tune those keyframes to make sure that none of the edges are actually seen. So as you can see around by the head, for example, if I bring that one out there, you can now start to see where the green screen is not there. So essentially that's what we want to get rid of. So that's why we do the keyframing. And then once you've done all that, it'll then look something like this. There we go. Okay, so the final part here then is the shadow. We want to make sure that there is some kind of shadow appearing on the wall, makes it look a little bit more real, makes it look like it's a bit more authentic. And to do that, on the green screen layer, I took off the key light to make the green screen come back into play. And that way I can actually physically see the shadow that's appearing on the actual green screen. So this will actually give me a really good guide to where the shadow would be on each of the movements. Okay, so with the shadow then, I simply created a new solid. I called this shadow, and I've already done that there, so I'm going to take that off. Okay, with the shadow, all I did was created a new solid. I've already done that here, so that's all done. Call it whatever you want to call it, Spider-Man shadow, for example. And then what I did is I took off that layer and grabbed the pen tool and the mask tool, but made sure that the shadow layer was selected, and just went around and masked where the shadow is appearing. Okay, and at that point, when I add it back on, the shadow then appears in the same pattern and the same shape as what the shadow is on the actual green screen. Okay, so once we have the mask in the shape of the shadow, we now need to then go frame by frame and follow the shadow, adjusting the mask to ensure that the shadow shape stays the same. Go back to the Spider-Man layer, turn on the key light so the green screen goes away. Reduce the opacity down to 50% on the Spider-Man shadow. Okay, so once you've gone frame by frame, making sure that the mask is in the shape of the shadow on each of the frames, it is a bit of a long process, but it's definitely worth it to make it look more legit. You can then take a look and you'll have something that looks like this. Not bad. Okay guys, so once you've taken out the green screen and you've added your shadow and everything's looking good to what you wanted, then you can start color correcting and you'll have something that looks a bit like this. Okay, pretty good. As ever guys, thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, share with your friends. This doesn't have to be about Spider-Man, it could be anything. It could just be a normal guy that's just climbing up and down the walls, but that's just my general kind of tips on how I do that. But like I say, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next video.